On A New Breed of Golf, we're talking weight transfer, and I'm helping you build your bag. Let's do this! It's time now for Proving It, presented by Titleist. We're talking about golf bag setup. One of the most important things that you can do. You can see I've got all the things that I might want to have in my golf bag laid out on the carpet here, clubs included, and I've got my golf bag over here. Now, let's just talk about things that we know we're going to need in the bag. Well, you know what? I know I'm going to need my putter, and I'm knowing I'm going to need all these clubs. So I'm going to grab my putter. That's going to go in the bag just like that. I get my woods and my hybrid. They're going to go in the up top. Now, there's a reason why we put these in the places that we do. Part of it is so it's easy to count. One of the things that you have to do when you're playing the game, and I do this at the end of 9, at the end of 18, count your clubs. Make sure you got all 14 of them. And it's easy to do the way you assemble this. I'm going to show you this. So I got 4 of them in the top. Remember, I got 14 clubs that I'm working with. Now what I have is I have my wedges right here, and I've got my 9-iron. Now, those are going to go in the bottom. So I've got 4 in the top. I got 4 in the bottom. Now, I have 6 remaining. So now I take 6, 7, 8, just like that. They're going to go on the right side of my bag. So they go right in this little spot right here. And then I'm going to go get 3, 4, 5. You can see that right there. And those are going in right over here. So I got 3, 4, and 5. Now I got all my clubs in there, easy to count. 4, 3, 3, 4. So I've got 2 4s and 2 3s. That's the way I set it up there, just like that. Easy to count. Now, from here, what are some of the things that I want to do? Well, I know I'm going to have some water. You got to hydrate. So I'm putting my water bottle right in here, just like this. That's all set. Typically, I'll put that in at the very end. I want to talk to you about gloves. I like to have 3 gloves in my bag, and I'll show you why. So I'll take these 3, and I'm going to take this right here. First, I like to have a practice glove. I like to have a play glove, and then I like to have an on-deck circle glove. Now, what does that all mean? Well, the most important glove in all this is the play glove. And when I'm done with the play glove, in other words, I've played enough, it's either developed some holes in it, maybe it's gotten a little bit too much sweat in it, whatever, it just doesn't feel right, that becomes my practice glove. So I always have 3 gloves. My practice glove, what I'm using every time I go to the range to loosen up, even on the days that I'm going to go play and I'm warming up, practice glove, then play glove, and then the on-deck circle. Now, what I like to do is I like to have a baggie that I will put my play glove into. I'm going to fold that up just like that. I take this baggie, open it up, drop my glove in there like that, and then I zip it up. Now, why do I do that? Well, if it rains and the bag that you're carrying is not one of those that protects you from the water or protects your clubs or balls or whatever from the water, this Ziploc baggie is going to help you. So now what I have is I have all that. And then all that stuff goes in here. Now, I'm not going to stuff it all in there. I'm just going to tell you. That goes in that pocket right there. Now, golf balls is next. So I go over here to the golf balls, and here's what I'm doing with this. I don't need 3 dozen balls. What I need is probably 6 to 9 golf balls. So right there, I've got 5, 7, 9. My golf balls now are going to go in this bag right here, in this pocket right there. So those goes right down in that pocket there. There's plenty of room in there. And that's going to allow me enough room for tees, which is where the other Ziploc bag comes in. So now you can see down here, look at all these tees I have down here. You don't need to have 3,800 tees. What you need is probably 20. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you got a par 3 tee. You're going to have some long ones. You're going to have a couple of short ones. Right? There may be a tee that's your good luck tee. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a red, white, and blue tee like this. So you're putting that one in there. You got a couple in here. Just in case something breaks, got to have the Titleist one. Got to have that in there. So now I have that. Now, ball markers. You don't need another 13 ball markers. I've gone into more bags. I've made more money coming. I'm going to get down here. I've made more money going to there. You don't need all this stuff. You certainly don't need all these pennies. What do you need? 3, 4 ball markers. Maybe one's good luck. So I got my Clover there. This is from the New York Stock Exchange. I've got my own personal one. And you know what I also like to have? I want to have a US Open one. And you got to have a divot repair tool. Many of you have about 30 divot repair tools. All you need is one divot repair tool. So that's going to go in there. Now, as well, there's some other things that you're going to need. I like to have Band-Aids in there in case something happens. So that's going into that bag. That bag right there gets zipped up. I'm in there. That gets me ready for what I'm doing. And this one gets folded up and goes back into the golf ball pouch. So that goes there, or that part. Now, I'm almost done with all the things that I need to do. I'm going to switch this over here like this, because this right here, this is my pocket where I'm going to put my ditty bag. So in my ditty bag, I'm going to put my keys in there. I may have a watch that I'm going to put in there, a wallet, whatever. This all goes in there, folds up like this. Then I take that, put that into that pocket right there, and zip that up. And then finally, I have this pocket that's right here. This pocket here is going to be a pocket that I'm going to put in. Maybe I'm going to go play. I'm not sure that it's going to rain, whatever it's going to do. I'm going to fold that up. This slides right into that pocket just like that. Zip that up, and now I'm ready to go. And finally, what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a bag towel. So my bag towel goes here, and then I'm going to need my yardage finder that's going to go right there. And that yardage finder is just going to clip right onto this little spot just like this. So now I'm ready to go. And I've got all the things I need. This bag now is very, very light. And I can carry this bag if I'm riding on a cart, fits on it nicely. I made all my decisions beforehand. I've got everything in that bag the way I want it to be set up exactly right, and I do it every single time. And then what I would tell you is this. As you go through this, what you're going to see is there's a lot of stuff that's just left out. Now, this is my necessities. Those are what we call needs. I've got some wants. What are things that I want? Well, if I get a different bag, I might have a wrench in there to adjust a club. I might have a notebook to make some notes on some swings or practices that I might have. A ball marker, maybe some Vaseline for my lips, or maybe my skin gets a little dry, whatever. The rules book, there's all kinds of different options. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. Pay attention to how you put this in your bag. It makes it so much easier for you to know exactly what you need and when you need to replace it. And maybe you've gone through your golf balls. You check this all the time. You don't need to have 57 golf balls in there, and you don't need 3,800 tees. What you need to do is make sure you minimize all this stuff, have a place for everything so that when you go out to go play, you're organized and you're ready to go, you're prepared. Such an important part of being a great golfer. And it starts with how you set up that golf bag. I promise you, it's a big, big deal. You look at anybody on tour, they know where everything is. It's in the exact same spot every single time. That's Proven It, presented by Untitled. You hear so many people talk about the importance of loading into the right side. I've got to shift my weight in the backswing. I got to shift my weight. What does that mean? Well, it's time for a transformational tip presented by Morgan Franklin. What does it mean to shift your weight? It simply means that you're going to start moving weight around. That's all it is. You're moving weight around, but it has to move correctly. And when you move it correctly in the backswing, what happens is the body rotates and you start putting weight into the trail heel right here. How do we do that? Well, all I need is a little bar right here. I'm going to put this in this fashion here. What I want you to understand is how the trail hip controls the proper shifting of the weight. What I mean by that is as follows. I see so many of you trying to get over to your right side in the backswing or get over to your trail side in the backswing. And what you do is you slide your hips along this bar right here. So if you get this overhead shot, I'm going to lean over a little bit more so you can see it. You start sliding that glute on the right side, the trail side. You start sliding that over to the right-hand side. What we want to do is we want to rotate that hip back. And when we do it properly, your glute actually starts to rotate and then move forward. So if I put my finger on this hip right here, this part of my hip right here, as you see me rotate, you can see how, and bring up that image, Gibbsy, and what you're going to see is that that trail hip is now moving along the bar towards the target. And what happens when we do that is now all of a sudden I'm winding that trail heel into the ground and putting weight into that trail heel. And what that does is it allows me to make a full turn, but it also allows me to, quote, transfer my weight properly in the backswing. So now when I move this out of the way, I get the feeling that I just got over there in a practice swing where that hip is now moving around and forward. It's moving back and forward. So this is rotating this way, all my weight staying inside the foot. I feel like I'm almost screwing that trail heel into the ground, but doing it with my hip. And now I'm just going to do one slowly. And what you're going to see when I hit that shot, very, very solid, very fast ball speed. I got that ball speed to 116.5, and I wasn't even working on that one, just loading that weight into the heel. Now on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to really give this a little bit of speed. And when I get into that trail heel, I can give this some speed now. The club will return from the inside. I'll get a launch a little to the right, and I'll get a spin a little to the left. This ball should draw. Greg, be ready to replay this shot, okay? So feel that hip rotating, feel it sinking back and then going towards the target. So that's what we get there, and now we go. And so that's going to start out to the right. It's going to have a little bit of a twist to the left. Don't replay this just yet, Greg, because I want to go over here and show some stuff here so we get an idea of what we just talked about. Remember I said to you, when we get into that heel, we're going to increase speed. We're going to start that ball a little to the right. We're going to twist it a little to the left. So look at what happened. Apex, 94 feet, really high. Why? Because the club was coming from the inside. And when it comes from the inside, what's that going to do to the start line of the ball? Well, it's going to start a little to the right. This one, the horizontal launch was 1.9 degrees to the right. It twisted back to the left. I had 875 RPMs of left spin. And look at my distance, 185 yards in distance with 121.6 miles an hour of ball speed. Greg, will you play us that shot again so we can get a look at that? Look at that takeoff to the right. See how high that is? And now it starts twisting back to the left-hand side. It's a gorgeous shot to watch, and I know a shot that you're dying to hit. So you want to get rid of the inconsistencies. You want to get rid of that weak shot to the right. You want to actually get a draw. The way you're going to do it is load that trail heel, shift your weight properly by focusing on what's going on with that trail hip, trail glute, and make sure that it's rotating and it's moving towards the target, sliding along that bar. You can do that drill at home on a wall. You could do it on the golf course on a little bench. Just make sure you're feeling that. So when you're out on the golf course, you can actually make practice swings and feel the movement of that hip and glute. When you start to do that, what you're going to get is you're going to really get some distance and get that shot that you desire. We all desire that nice little high draw. It's going to make you really happy. That's a transformational tip presented by Morgan Franklin. It's time for a grip tip presented by Golf Pride. I see so many of you stand over this putt. You've got such intimidation. You have no control over the putter face, and you wave the putter at the ball, and you miss the putt. You get in here like this. You're holding this putter like this, and you get in here, and all of a sudden you take the putter back. You wave this open like this. You try to slam it, and then, oh, I lipped out. I can't believe it. Why'd that happen? Well, you know what? It can be as simple as you're holding this club incorrectly. What do I mean? If I asked you to just stand up now, go ahead and stand up now, get a putter. Maybe hit pause and go get your putter. Come on back. You get your putter. I want you to hit one-handed putts. And when you stand here and you hit one-handed putts, what you're going to find is that with that one hand, you now all of a sudden have to really grip this putter tightly in your trail hand, right hand for the right-handed player. But if I ask you to adjust this, so this putter shaft is running right in the middle of the hand this way, so that on the heel pad and the thumb pad, I've got that shaft going right in between. What ends up happening is you don't have to grip this tightly. In fact, you can grip it loosely. And because I've got it in the palm, now all of a sudden, I'm not really creating a lot of levers. And what I get is I get a ball that's going to travel down the line that I want because I don't get a lot of face rotation. So get in here like this. Again, one-handed. That putter was a really smooth stroke. And again, this is just one-handed. And what you're going to find is, and you can see if I hold that hand right to the camera 2 there, you can see how the heel pad is underneath and the thumb pad is on top. So my thumb pad on top, heel pad on the side and underneath. And what that does is it stabilizes the putter face and allows that putter face to stay very square to the target so the ball goes down the line. So now, when I put my other hand on, now I've got the pressure, the ability to create the speed, so I'm still pushing, but now I have the ability to let this putter go down that line with the power that's going to allow it to get to the hole. So that means that when you're standing over the putt, all I want you thinking about is taking the palm of the trail hand and moving it towards your target. We're not spinning that. We're just keeping it dead perpendicular to that strike line and letting it go that way. So make sure the grip is right. Put the left hand on. Let that putter go down the line. I actually spun that open. That was a bad stroke. Don't do that. Do this. Do that. That would have gone in had there not been a little defense right there. But as you start to do that, what you're going to get is you're going to minimize the putter face rotation, which is going to maximize your ability to get the ball to start on the line that you intend. And when you start it on the line you intend, now all of a sudden you're going to start making some putts. And you're going to start shooting low scores, a little defense, but I got it in the hole there. That's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure you get control over this putter face by putting it in the palm of your hand. Set that putter face so that it's parallel to the palm, and make sure that you're holding it in the hand the right way so the shaft is coming in there with the thumb pad on top of the grip and the heel pad on the side of the grip. That's a grip tip presented by Golf Pride.